If you go, FX volatility. I'm going to shoot this one to both of you, Amos and David. FX volatility, we have seen a lot of depreciation and devaluation. South Africa, the Cairo, the pound too, and some people have gained, others not so much. And I don't know, where do you draw the line between the two? Maybe I could start with you, David, and throw it over to Amos after.
It's a complex question. If Africa had a better manufacturing sector, we would, as a continent, be able to take advantage of depreciating currencies. Our exports would be more attractive and more competitive globally. However, that manufacturing sector, to me, is still very nascent. It still hasn't really developed in any big way at all. And as a result, currency fluctuations indeed do very little to assist our economies, except for some basic exports that some countries do have. It does, for example, help Kenya's flour industry, for that matter. South Africa's wine industry it gets assistance from depreciating currencies. But there's not enough exports from the continent in order to make those foreign exchange fluctuations really help the continent. So I get quite concerned about depreciating currencies across the continent from a manufacturing or export point of view, because we just don't have enough to export. And I also get concerned because of the increasing levels of debt that so many African countries have really now positioned themselves in that particular negative space, raising bonds in dollar-denominated values. Very much so. Now, a lot of this state expenditure, these sort of developmental state economies that have done very, very well, the Ethiopias of this world, largely on really fairly heavy debt burdens as a result. Now, if those currencies tank, we are looking at pressure on those treasuries to repay those loans, and those pressures can really damage or at least retard the 7, 8 or 9% growth that we do project. So I have to say that I would much prefer a more stable exchange rate for the continent. And again, it comes back to the political analyst in me, which really talks about sentiment-driven economies that are attractive, largely speaking, to foreign investors. And foreign investors want certainty. They want as corrupt-free as environment as conceivably possible, and they want stable political governance and, for that matter, independent and accountable institutions. And I think those, to me, are always my fundamentals that I come back to, because if those are more or less in the right place, don't have to be perfect, but more or less in the right place, then I think all of these industries we talk about will grow and grow exponentially.
Almost 2011, the Uganda shilling depreciating by